Uploads and prefixes. Here we have the configuration, the settings of an upload, of a direct upload, and in the destination we've selected a prefix. Now down here we've selected we want to manually upload a certain value into this prefix. This is actually very simple. Basically what you're going to do is, let's imagine here we have a prefix of employees, and here manually we want to select a certain employee, for example John or Maria or Peter, whoever. So when this button is triggered or when the flow goes through this system task, it's going to upload in this prefix field whatever value we selected here. For example, if it's the employee Maria, Maria is going to be uploaded inside of this prefix. We could also select the option panel. For example, if we select here a prefix of our family employees, here we could select panel, and we could select another prefix of the employee's family. If we do this, if we just select two prefixes of the same family, one up here and another one down here, it's going to copy the value from one prefix to the other one. In this example, for example, we could copy the value from this prefix where we have John 1, and we could upload the value into this other prefix called approver. So when we select two prefix fields in this upload, basically what we're going to do is copy the value from one prefix to the other one. We have to take into account that these prefixes have to be of the same type. For example, if the first prefix is of an employee family, the second prefix selected down here must also be of the employee family in order to copy one value from one prefix to the other one. Now here we have a different scenario. This one is a little bit more tricky. Let's say I have an employee prefix. Okay, let's call this one A, value A. So we want A to be filled in with a value that's stored inside of the record of B. Okay, so here we have a different family. It's called documentary group, and we have a certain element selected. Obviously, we cannot select this element and populate this employee prefix because they're not compatible prefixes. So here we can see an example. We have prefix employee, it's empty, and we want to fill it in. Instead of filling it in with the value that's inside of documentary group, what we want to do is we want to search for all the information, all the fields that are inside of this record. And if there is any compatible field, we want to grab this value and drop it into the prefix A. So as it says here, in this scenario, the fields in the record B, okay, in this record that we can see down here displayed, have some compatible fields with A, because here we can see there's a field that's called approver, or there's another field called editor. These are prefix fields, so editor and approver are compatible with this employee prefix that's in the panel of the process. So in order to apply this upload, we need A, this destination field, we need B, the source, and C. C are any compatible fields within the record of this source field. Okay, so let's see how this is configured. This would be the configuration window where I say, well, the destination of my upload is the employee prefix, this one here. Now, once I've selected my destination, I can select the origin. And in the origin, I've said my origin is the field called documentary group, where I have this value. Okay, so since the B prefix is not compatible with A, the system is going to automatically offer us a third value down here. So we can say, well, documentary group is not compatible with the field A, so it's going to offer me this third option here. And in this third option, I can select any value from the record documentary group that's compatible with A. In this case, we found one that's called approver. So we're going to select it down here. And this value is going to be uploaded in the panel of the process in this field up here, employee. Here we have another upload in a prefix, but in this scenario, we have an employee prefix up here, and down here we've selected a numeric value. What's going to happen when the flow goes through the system task? It's going to upload in this prefix the employee that has the ID that matches whatever numeric field is in this field here. Okay, so for example, we have a record of an employee, and the ID of this employee is the ID 2. So in this field, we have the ID 2. When the flow goes through this system task, it's going to upload in the employee prefix the employee with the ID 2. In this case, Anna. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is show you some examples in this form I have prepared, where we're going to create different uploads based on different values. For example, here it says, enter the value of the tracking code source field in the employee destination. So where do I have tracking code? I have it up here. So let's say I put a number 2. And which is my destination? It's an employee prefix. Let me see. Okay, here we have it. So the employee prefix is filled in automatically with the employee that has the ID 2. Let me change it for ID 4. Now let me click on the button again. We can see the employee has changed. Okay, so it's always uploading. Let me see a ID 6. And here we can see it's John Doe. So it's always uploading the employee that has the ID that I've indicated here. Let's see the configuration. So in this case, it's a direct upload. The destination is a prefix, and the source is this tracking code field. So basically, like the only thing I'm entering is a number. All I can do is select the employee here that has a certain ID. Okay. Let's see the employees in this application. So I'm going to my family here, family of records, employees. And here I can see their IDs. For example, if I indicate the ID 10, it should give me back this employee, Hugo. So I'm going to put 10 up here. I click on the button again, and here we can see the result. All right, so that's working. Let's go to this other one. It says from prefix to prefix of the same family. So they have to be two compatible families. Approver is going to be the source, and employee is going to be the destination. So if we have a source that's empty, basically what it's going to do is empty the destination. So I click on it, and we can see it's empty the destination. Let's say here I input an employee, for example, this one here, and now I copy it down here. Okay. So basically, whatever I input here, I can copy it down there. Example number 2, I click here. Oops, I have to put number 2, and I have to search. There we go. I found this employee. And now when I click here, from prefix to prefix, I'm going to copy down here the value. There we go. Now let's see the configuration of this button. Okay, so going to the configuration of this button. And here, it's also direct upload. And we select it as destination field, employee, and as the source field, approver. Since both are compatible, all it does, it copies the value from the source, from the origin, to the destination. Okay, let's try the next upload. This one over here. This is the one I was mentioning that's a little bit more tricky. Basically what it's going to do, it's going to upload the editor located in the record of the family documentary group inside of this employee prefix. Okay, let me empty all of them so we can see the result very easily. Okay, so here I have to select one of these documentary groups, for example, forms. And if I take a look at this record, we can see we have different values. For example, here the editor and the approver are AP1. Okay, and here it's saying, well, we're going to copy the value of the editor that's inside of this record, and we're going to drop it into the employee prefix. So let's click on the button, and there we see that we've copied the value from this record. Okay, since we can't copy this value into this field because they're not compatible fields, they're prefixes, both of them, but they're not of the same family. Well, in the configuration of this upload is going to offer me a third field. Okay, and that's how I actually got this editor to be copied into this field in the panel. Okay, let me test this again. I'm going to select procedures. I'm going to click on the button. It's also AP1. Let me check. Yeah, the editor is AP1. Okay, let's go and see the configuration. I click on the button. I can see I've added a system task. Here we have a direct upload. And I said the destination is the employee prefix. The source or the origin is the documentary group. But from the documentary group, it's going to offer me all the compatible fields that are inside of this record. And here it's offering me all of these. So I have an approver prefix and I have an editor prefix. It's even offering me a whole number value. Why? Because we could also upload employees based on IDs. Okay. So this is also, once we understand it, it's pretty easy. It's a little bit more tricky than the other ones. But basically what we're doing is we're saying this prefix in the panel has to be filled in with whatever's inside of this record. It has to be a compatible prefix field. It offers me all the compatible fields. And once I select it, when the flow goes through this system task, it's going to grab whatever's inside of this record and drop it into this prefix that I have in the panel of the process.